So a point for United away at Blackpool, but should it really have been 3? The big talking point of that second half was the Ollie Norwood strike that was ruled out. Chris Morgan, what do you reckon? What are your thoughts on all of that?
It should be 3 points. Should be a 1-0 win away from home, clean sheet. Lads coming away happy. You know, I don't understand, and I'm not a referee. I've not done a referee's course, but obviously I think I understand the game. If somebody stood affecting the goalkeeper's line of vision, then I understand being given offside. But we can clearly see. We've got the benefit of the screens, but we can clearly see there's nobody in the line of sight of the goalkeeper.
Nope.
You know, there's a shot from the edge of the box from Ollie, clips somebody on the way through who's onside, so it's not anybody who's in an offside position, and it goes in the net. So I'm a little bit lost on that one. So yeah, it should be 3 points. Should be a brilliant 3 points for the lads. Clean sheet, and doing what we said, getting on the bus and coming away from Blackpool. Still, decent point. You know, let's not get away from that. It's a decent point. A hard-earned point. The lads have had to fight for it. They've reacted from Saturday, gone there, played really, really positive. Certainly took the game to Blackpool. A strong Blackpool team, certainly at home. You know, they'll be. I'm going to say they'll be happy with a point. I think they'll be disappointed with the offside goal.
Absolutely. There'll be some heavy legs in that changing room as well, I would have thought. Yeah,
they've put a massive shift in tonight. Probably a little bit like watching the horses run around at Cheltenham today in the rain and the mud. You know, the lads they've had hard slog tonight. They've stuck at the task, and yeah, they'll be that 2-day recovery before the Barnsley game on Saturday will be vitally important.
First half I thought they were really good, United. Second half seemed to tire a little bit. Blackpool were always going to have a spell, and you know, we highlighted him at the very start. Josh Bowler was a real handful, wasn't he?
Yeah, handful all night. Second half, particularly towards the end of the game, I thought he made a couple of decisions that put Blackpool on the back foot, trying to do things in areas of the pitch where if you lose it you could be in trouble, and I thought we countered off a couple of them. But he's a good player, you know, a real good player. You know, I think he was their biggest threat. If a goal was going to come, it was going to come from him. But I think, yeah, first half by far the best team. Second half, you'd expect Blackpool to have a go. You'd expect them kicking towards their coppers, such like we doing it here. They are better going that way. So I'm sure the lads will have spoke about that at half time. And you know, you've got to ride that. You've got to ride the wave and come again. And I think we've done everything possible tonight to go away from home and try and win a game of football.
And having shipped 4 at the weekend, as you say, to get a clean sheet, that's a real positive, surely.
It is. That had been the first thing. That had been the first thing that Paul had said tonight as the lads were leaving the dressing room. I'm sure. You know, tonight, let's get back to being hard to beat, solid, and giving nothing away. And they've kept a clean sheet at a tough place.
It's difficult for him to make changes. He did make changes, brought Conor Harahan on. At what point in that second half do you think he's starting to look towards the weekend? How much of the Barnsley game is in his head? Because it's difficult when you're trying to manage players and keep them as fresh as you can.
Yeah, it's
with no options.
Yeah,
really.
You know, we were talking sat over there, and it's so easy for us to sit when it's cold in a student. I don't mean cold as in we were sat shivering, but making cold decisions. You know, we're sat there saying, you know, can Paul afford to bring Billy and Morgan Gibbs-White off, chuck the 2 young ones up top, Jebbo and Will, and sort of think, well, the structure's the same. I've got 2 lads who are going to come on, they're going to work, you know, and we're saying, yeah, it's a possibility. You know, 70 minutes, 75 minutes, because Billy and Morgs, 15 minutes towards the end of the game, 20 minutes, that extra just bit of freshness for the weekend, because it'll be massive out here. But when Paul and Jack are stood in that technical area, it's a total different decision than what we're making sat over there. Yeah. You know, we can discuss that, but when they're there, they're thinking, no, because if we're going to win it, it might be a goal from Morgs, it might be a goal from Sharpie. So, but yeah, I'm sure all them things were going through his head. But first and foremost, I think for Paul and Jack tonight, it was coming away from Blackpool with something, and that's what we've done.
Any standout performers for you tonight that you'd look at?
Not particularly. No, I think tonight was about a team performance, about being resilient, about bouncing back from a 4-1 defeat away from home. And again, we spoke about it before the game. I'm sure nobody got too disillusioned by the weekend, because it's sometimes that happens, and it's a case of, we have been playing well, let's get back to it. But I'm sure the first thing they wanted to do tonight was go away from home, be hard to beat, be solid, get that clean sheet, and again, Gagey highlighted before the game, if we can get a draw tonight, that's a big result, and just a shame that it should have been 3, really.
Some big results elsewhere. Luton, Millwall, Forest, all winning, and that league table is fascinating. I've got it here on screen because it's hard to remember it. It's so tight. The top 2, Fulham and Bournemouth, we know. Then it's Huddersfield on 63, Blackburn 61, Luton 60, QPR 59. So those are the 4 clubs in the playoff positions. Then you go beneath that, Middlesbrough 7th, 59, Forest 8th, 58, Sheffield United 9th, 58, Millwall 10th, 57, Coventry at 54, West Brom 53, Blackpool 52, even Preston 51 might still feel that they've got a chance of getting in there with what's available on the table. Personally, I think you're going down to Millwall in 10th, aren't you? Would you discount Coventry and West Brom at this stage? Hey, look, it's a championship. No, you can't, can you?
No, you can't.
You can't. It's fascinating. It's going to be an incredible finish to the season, this one.
It is. I think it's why it's the most enjoyed and the most watched league, because it keeps going right to the end, and there'll be twists, there'll be turns. We've just got to make sure that we stay in there, because I think if we can get a couple of players back, I know there is some lads that are finished for the season, but if we can get 2 or 3 of them 55 bodies that we were looking at injured before the game, I think if we can get a couple of them bodies back and get a bit of strength, I think we'll be right in the mix come the last 2-3 games of the season.
And Barnsley coming here next, that's going to be a very different test to what it might have appeared to be 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago even, because Barnsley have hit a good run, haven't they? Yeah,
they have. Yeah, they've signed a few good players. I think they've gone away from what got them success last season in terms of being very direct, being very organised. They look as though they've brought a few technical players in, and that seems to be working. Obviously for them at the minute, fantastic result last night. I was going to say they'll look forward to coming here at weekend. They'll not look forward to coming here at the weekend at all, because I don't think anybody ever does look forward to coming to Bramall Lane. But certainly in the form they're in, they'll think they can come and maybe get something, whereas 3-4 weeks ago they wouldn't have dreamt of coming to Bramall Lane and getting anything. And again, Yorkshire derby, packed away end, packed three stands behind us, so I'm sure we'll get the win at the weekend, but it'll be another tough game. And how many times will we be saying that between now and the end of the season? Oh, another tough game, another tough game. And I think again, you look at I was going to say teams in mid-table, but you've just gone down to about 12th, 13th there, and there's a lot of teams, so there's not actually many teams that are not playing for anything.
No, but you'd rather be playing teams who are striving for something, wouldn't you, rather than playing the odd team, and there aren't many in the Championship, who are perhaps thinking towards the summer and going on holiday.
Yeah, because they're the dangerous fixtures. The teams that are playing for nothing have got the flip-flops on, and they started having the spray tans ready, so they're not looking...
Speaking from experience, Morgan.
Yeah. I was just going to say spray tans, so they're not looking pale when they get on the beach. But yeah, they're the worst teams to play, because all of a sudden them teams that aren't playing for anything, they just turn up, they've got a freedom, they just go out and play, because they're not thinking about, we're getting sucked in relegation, or if they're pushing for the playoffs or pushing for the top 2, thinking, if we get beat today, what happens? They just turn up, they get off the bus and think, it's another game, the weather's changing, all of a sudden the sunshine will start coming out, and the teams playing for nothing actually turn up and enjoy playing, rather than thinking there's something on today.
So South Yorkshire derby to look forward to this coming weekend. Barnsley in opposition, 12:30 kick-off. We are on air from 11:30 with Richard Graves, Carlos Saba and Kevin Gage.